I know. It's amazing.
Don't get too excited. When you play with life and death, there are bound to be consequences.
What does this mean for him?
Cool beard.
Should he expect anything
the beard
else
options are actually pretty good.
strange? Other than coming back from the dead, I mean.
That depends on a few things. Visions and hallucinations? Likely. Manifestations of past lives? Uncommon, but possible.
You see these kind of symptoms often?
Not as often as I used to. This is far beyond my expertise. You should visit Runid, our local watcher.
Oh,
She would know what to make of
watchers.
your strange, stubborn soul.
Hell yeah, man. My family hired watchers, fools and fortune tellers. No. How do we know this watcher can be? We'll just say a watcher. Let's see how she introduces them.
One who sees into the spirit realm, speaks to the dead, and knows the past through their eyes. A watcher examines the soul down to its very core. I can't think of anyone more qualified for the job.
That's cool. Yeah, in previous games, not only do you play a watcher, but it plays a huge part of kind of into the lore and how the whole thing works. By the way, I have 2 giant playthroughs of PoE 1 and 2 on my YouTube if you ever want to check them out. And honestly, I kind of want to play them again. It's been a long time. They're fantastic games. Maybe we'll find a reason somehow. I don't know. Figure something out. Yeah, they're great games if you haven't played them. Is this on Game Pass? Yeah. This game's on Game Pass. Yep. Yeah.
Runid's shop is in the hills to the northeast. A bit of a walk.
But it's not on Game Pass, I think,
Just
until
head out of the gate to the east of town and
18.
follow the path that curves to the north.
Unless you pay like
It should be
$20.
perched up in the hills. Oh, but avoid the Watcher in Hightown. She's a known charlatan. I'll send word to the ambassador that you survived, but he'll no doubt want to talk to you.
Thank you.
Head up the stairs outside my clinic and take a left onto the main road. That'll get you to the embassy.
You've given me a lot of directions.
Apologies. Paradise is a bit of a maze, especially to newcomers.
Don't worry. I know my way around. Which is why I should go with you. Your assassination is bound to have stirred things up.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Besides, I don't want this to blow up any more than you do. The sooner we solve your murder, the better for everyone.
Your murder.
And we should talk back at camp. I'm
Yeah, I
hoping
guess
you
so.
can help me
A little weird,
understand
but
what
yeah.
just happened to you.
Alright, let's take a little look in here real quick before we go. Oh, she's a vendor too. Do whatever it takes to bring back the envoy. I know you used to be an animancer, and if you still have any of your old equipment, well, some of us are willing to look the other way. If the envoy dies, I cannot guarantee your safety. Whoa, dude.
Hey, I had a dream about you.
Really?
In my dream, you were surrounded by light, but it was shining from inside. You weren't alone either. There were others. Some of them loved you, others were afraid of you, but they all followed you. Also, there was a tree that... It wasn't a tree? Oh, it made sense at the time. I can't remember anymore. It's a pity dreams aren't made to last. Livion, I'll pull through. Livion is taking good care of me.
He knows too much.
Stay safe. You don't want to end up back here again. If you need something for the pain, there's an apothecary by the bathhouse. Got in a fight with the Aedyran guards. I started it, they finished it.
Ayo.
Stay safe. You don't want to end up back here again.
Man, this guy's got a lot of lines.
I'll pull through.
There we go.
Livion
Okay.
is taking good care of me.
I've compared our local herbs to the same ones imported from a deer. If my findings are accurate, then everything that grows in the living lands is more potent. Everything. Cures as well as poisons. Of course, all the best ingredients grow in the deadliest parts of the jungle, so maybe I should harvest a few seeds and pay someone to grow them in the Republics just to see what happens. Or maybe I shouldn't contaminate the mainland until I understand what I'm dealing with. Oh god, responsibility. No one has time for that.
Any injuries I should know about? No?
Thank you, Kiko. Appreciate it, buddy. So I used to be an animancer.
That was a long time ago. I gave it up when I lost a couple of good friends in a lab accident.
Oh.
Never had the courage to look back. It's better for everyone if I focus on healing the body instead of the soul.
Damn. How's business?
You know how it is. Fighting in the alleys, rumor of a plague, odd creatures skulking out of the wilderness. Someone somewhere always needs to get patched up. And when they need me, here I am.
Show me what you got. Health pots. 98? Ugh, I don't know about that. Let's see. So you? One of you? Mm-hmm. I'm not selling anything else there. I wonder, is there any kind of storage in this game? Like a bank or something? Because like, I want to save this gear in case I ever want to like stack a particular stat or something. I don't want to like throw any of this away, but I can't really carry it on me for all this time. It's going to add up quick. Oh, there's a storage and party camp. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. We will check that out. Yo. Dude. Report the ambassador. Find the watcher. Upgrade your armor. Oh, yeah. Nice. I'll take whatever this is. Cool. Munch. Spoiled cucumber. Delicious.
Godlike. Interested in saving a couple of lives? So, you're that godlike, the Aedyran envoy. You're the one who saves the ambassador from the strangle root, right?
Yes, that is me, yes.
Interesting. Say, would you be up for helping out some down on their luck Aedyrans who can't catch a break?
Yes.
Galarde. Lawfled and Gladwine came here about 8 years ago, long before the recent rush of Aedyrans. They admitted to having a checkered past back home, but they started a new life in Paradis. Back then, you'd struggle to find an Aedyran in the city. Now they're everywhere.
You have a problem with more Aedyrans coming to Paradis?
Well, let's stick to the matter at hand. Anyway,
Fair.
with all these Aedyrans coming in, Lawfled and Gladwine started spotting old
shoot, what did I just
faces.
click on?
And if they were spotting old faces, it was only a matter of time before those faces started spotting them back. They're lying low in the shantytown for now, but they mean to leave for Thirdborn.
Aedyrans in the shantytown. I doubt they're getting a warm welcome. Most of the people there are Paradisans run out by Aedyr.
They're afraid to go out in public, and Gladwine, poor soul, he's gone blind from bad drink.
Damn. I'm not a healer.
You don't need to be. There are herbs in the wilds around Paradis that can restore Gladwine's sight. It's a little too dangerous for us ordinary folks, but for the Aedyran envoy, for the hero who braved the strangle root, I'm sure it will be no problem.
We are a healer?
Ending
Well,
with
I mean,
flattery is a nice
a
touch.
little bit.
Agrasima.
A little bit. I'll see what I can do.
Many thanks, envoy. Oh, there is one more thing they need. Land deeds. They've already paid for them. There's a Rawatayan in the Pearl District, Mako, who was handling the paperwork.
Why hadn't he?
I don't know. That's the problem. Mako and I had a falling out a while back. It's best if someone else goes.
Okay.
Thank you, envoy. God bless you.
Okay. All bosses will pay with their lives. Although, is there any loot in any of them? Damn, bro. Nothing? What's this? Hi. Going in.
You died,
Hi.
but you're here. Gods, am I glad to see you.
What's up?
I'll keep trying. But there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach. You've got some god looking out for you.
Long has the renowned Cartographers Guild served the emperors and queens of Aedyr. It is we who are responsible for the creation and distribution of the many maps throughout the Empire, whether to direct travelers throughout the expanse that is Aedyr, guide ship captains on their voyages throughout Eora, or simply adorn the walls of an aristocrat's home. One can rest assured the Cartographers Guild is behind the creation of every one of these works of art. For over 2 centuries since the Noble Expedition Corps discovered the Eastern Reach, have we worked and labored to keep all the Empire and our colonies supplied with accurate, high-quality maps. God willing, we will continue to do so for centuries yet to come. Give. Oh. I... Tycg? Tycg. Yeah.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet.
How do you say that?
Kai.
Oh.
Tycg.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
Okay, there we go.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
Wow. I've just arrived, and you're already making enemies, Kai.
He started it.
There.
Besides, the arrowhead lodged in your gut tells me you can do plenty of that on your own.
Ouch!
I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure didn't.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs.
I think there's more to the story here.
Well,
Kai?
come on, it's funny. Tycg caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Ballarrock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tycg. The envoy doesn't need to know that.
Did you really want to kill someone?
The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide. Or he'd think we were all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tycg here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with?
What just happened? Oh my god! What? Garrus has no chill. Come on, dude! You're not gonna stand up to that?
The 7-foot-tall Almawa with biceps the size of my head? No, I am not.
Flatterer. You know I'm barely over 6.5.
Okay. How about you answer some questions for me, Tycg?
Naturally, sir. How can I help you?
I'd like to understand Paradis better.
What would you like to know?
When was the city founded?
If you're looking for a particular year, the first thing you should know about Paradis is that this isn't the kind of place where the locals keep records.
Oh.
And though it might be considered a distant backwater by the rest of the world, this city is the height of civilization by the standards of the living lands. As for who calls this place home, I suspect you could find a criminal, confidence man, or prophet from every civilization in the world here.
Hey, come on. You're gonna give the envoy the wrong idea. We've got draft dodgers, courtesans, and revolutionaries, too. You know, all the fun people.
In any event, as far as I can tell, Paradise has been this way since its inception. Thus the eclectic display of architectural styles. If nothing else, this city is a reflection of the countless people who have passed through it on their way to the interior.
What are Deer's intentions here?
Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Liudwin will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both?
What about the Dream Scourge?
That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Domshore, but the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it, and the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day.
How do the Paradisians feel about us?
Look, for all that I complain about this backwater, there are good people here. Same as anywhere else. People who want to be able to walk to the market in the morning for their bread and eggs and know they won't be mugged. People who like it when the mail comes on time, and their skates are made from real copper, and their neighborhood peeping Tom ends up in the stocks. Those people, good and honest people, who pay their debts and honor their contracts and remember to thank the gods. They like us a lot.
Tell me about the people who tried to kill me.
The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Aedyran banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agree to contracts with families in Aedyr seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them ruled this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire.
I'd like to ask about something else.
I'm an open book.
The Emperor didn't have time to brief me on the Living Lands. What do I need to know?
There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific?
How do the Living Lands and Aedyr compare on a map?
Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Aedyr is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of their globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds.
Where are the Living Lands in relation to Aedyr?
The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Aedyr is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator.
How about the weather, the terrain? I need to know what to expect.
The Living Lands are more arid than Aedyr, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White March, blanketed year-round in snow. While east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean. The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes.
Do you guys remember when we were playing Dragon Age the Veilguard, especially towards the end, I kept saying over and over that I felt like the game was just using Dragon Age lore to tell human stories, and that it wasn't really at any point just nerding out on the lore, which is one of the things that I loved so much about the old games. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing we've talked to this guy about for the last 10 minutes has been anything but just raw nerd lore world development. That's it. This is the kind of stuff that I was talking about that was missing. This exact kind of stuff. I love the fact that I could just talk to this guy and get like this huge dump on like the state of the world, where we are, how are things looking, like nothing to do with anything but just developing the world. Like, that's fantastic. It's a lot of dialogue, yeah, but obviously it's all optional, which I think is great too.
I'll share what I can.
I love this stuff personally. Who's in
There
power
is
here?
no singular authority in the living lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the living lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise.
Okay, what should I know about Fior?
Fjord Messaverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the Republics. So the city's founders came to the living lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely.
Is that Garrus? Yes.
Currently,
Yep.
Fjord is governed
is
by a
Garrus.
man named Ignacy Vidaro. Rather inept to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradise. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers Fjord.
I don't know much about the Valian Republics.
The Valian Republics are a collection of city-states in the Eastern Reach, southeast of our former colony, the Deerwood. The Republics began life as colonies of the Grand Empire of Valia, hence the name. But as Grand Valia's economy collapsed, well, the colony saw an opportunity to escape the influence of the Empire of Origin, and they seceded, much as the Deerwood did from Aedyr. Now a mature confederation in their own right, the Republics have recently indulged their own expansionist ambitions in the Deadfire Archipelago. Through their merchants in the Valian Trading Company, the Republics will sell you anything you could ever wish to buy.
Up to and including people.
We should count ourselves lucky they've had no interest in the living lands. In a struggle between our Emperor and the Republic's great dukes, well, I doubt we would come out on top. But if anyone asks, I was not the one who told you that.
What's the story with Thirdborn?
Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the third-born children of Rauatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and their mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out.
I can stand no more about Rauatai.
Rauatai is one of the old empires, every bit as storied as Grand Valia or our native Aedyr. If Aedyr is to the southwest of the living lands, Rauatai is to the southeast. And unlike our home, their small continent is racked by terrible storms. This is due, or rather, was due, to the island's proximity to
Here we go.
Mortar,
This is PoE2
the
stuff.
unending super hurricane that once hid the ancient city of Ukaizo. Rauatai is largely peopled by Almawa, descended from those who fled the Deadfire Archipelago centuries ago, when Andra pulled the moon, Ioni Brather, into the sea. They are an aggressive, militant culture, and personally, I find their obsession with gunpowder rather quaint. They are also our chief rivals on the world stage.
I don't think they see it that way.
No?
Well, as far as Navy brass is concerned, Aedyr doesn't really rate.
Now you're just making things up.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't think about you at all.
Rude. What can you tell me about Dude, Kai is an animal. Like, what the hell?
Solace is, What is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pargrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside,
Damn.
the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is, well, literally lava. I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
Damn. What can you tell me about the Pargrunan dwarves?
Naturally. The Pargrunan are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they've made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Aedyr, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pargrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abydos must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do. By all means.
We've been hearing a lot about this Inquisitor Lodwyn. Who is she?
Consider yourself lucky. Inquisitor Ludwyn is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it.
Oh.
As ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodaka wasn't done with her yet.
So she's like a lich. What was Lodwyn like before she became a Death Guard?
I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing Oathbreakers who'd fled Aedyrran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same.
I've never encountered an actual Death Guard. I thought they were figures from old stories.
Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deathfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I've heard of no others except those I've read about in the histories, or, as you say, in stories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a Death Guard that did not end with them going quite mad. When they lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause, they cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle.
Damn. What do you know about the Steel Garrote?
Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Aedyr, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradise?
Since the events in the Deathfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodaka. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they
Well, there
go
you
wherever Wodaka's priests, or Wodaka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say.
Wodaka Goddess of Vengeance, Lodwyn's chosen a challenging patron.
Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodaka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodaka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free.
Okay.
Of course.
I think we're almost done, chat. I was told to meet a watcher, but I don't know anything about them. What can you tell me?
I trust whomever told you to consult a watcher also told you to avoid the one in the city. She is a liar and a thief.
Oh, did you take your money?
No. Anyway, watchers are individuals capable of perceiving souls. The soul may be in a living body, or it may simply be lingering, waiting to pass into the in-between. In either case, interacting with a soul allows a watcher to glimpse a person's past lives or their most deeply buried memories. Watchers are incredibly rare, and in Aedyr, highly controlled. Many people wish to know who they were in a previous life, and do not like what they learn.
Oh. There's a watcher in the Emperor's inner circle, is there not?
I've heard that rumor too. It flits about High Crown every couple years. Some even say it is his Lady Empress. We have no way of knowing whether it's true or not, but I will tell you, Envoy, I don't like to think the Emperor would stoop so low.
Wow.
There's something I find undignified about it.
Really? What happens to watchers in Aedyr?
The smart ones stay hidden. They do not announce their powers, perhaps not even to themselves. Even a careful watcher risks inadvertently revealing themselves by knowing something they shouldn't know. Of the ones that are public, little is concretely known. But we hear things. They make good judges in Wodaka's courts, so long as they're controlled. The lords, it's rumored, buy and sell them to collect blackmail on their enemies. But I suspect many watchers are imprisoned or executed, or simply kill themselves.
Wow. Are they dangerous?
A watcher doesn't need your cooperation or consent to read your soul. They could learn everything about you, terribly damaging things about your parentage, for example, or things you did in a past life, without you ever knowing. You see how this could threaten the established order, undermine our betters' right to rule.
Yeah, but that's just one side to it. Imagine how a watcher feels, knowing what a threat they are to the status quo. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be keen on kings and emperors wanting me dead. Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Don't sell yourself short, Kai. I don't doubt you're an expert in people wanting you dead.
You're not wrong.
I rarely am. In any case, the Watcher is fundamentally a tragic figure. Of the few that survive our world, most are destined to
Garrus?
go
It
mad.
is. Can I become a watcher?
Yes and no.
Oh.
So far as I understand it, a Watcher is born a Watcher. But it takes an event, often something shocking or traumatic, to bring a Watcher's powers to the fore. So you may be a Watcher, or I may be, or Kai, and we might not even know.
Are there any famous watchers I should know about?
Well, the Watcher of Cadnua is legendary.
Huey too.
It was their castle Aethys destroyed when he began his campaign of terror in the Dead Fire.
Oh wait, no.
By the Queen, I hope
Yeah,
I get to meet them someday. In terms of local interest, you'll have heard of Runid, of course. And there was Ida. You may not know about her. She was a Watcher from the Living Lands. I believe she was an Orlan. She must have died, 150 years ago. Slain by a great serpent, gods treat kindly with her soul. Doubtless there are others, but Most don't meet a good end. By all means.
You're an ambassador. What's he like?
Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Amon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me.
Almost done. What's he like when he's not working?
He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does.
You don't want this job?
Be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me.
Ouch.
And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy.
Wow. I'd like to ask about something else.
I'm an open book.
I have nothing to ask about. Nice.
Should you ever need me, I will be here.
Okay.
Safe travels.
That was a lore dump and a frickin' half. Wow. That was something, man. We'll be back. I need to punch something.
Wish that soul would hurry up. I gotta get back to him. Wow, it's really you.
Hi.
I mean, we all heard the Emperor sent a godlike, but I didn't never think I'd get to meet you. You are the envoy, aren't you?
I am.
Lord, please. I think I dislocated my shoulder, and I might have broken some ribs.
Looked like a bear tried to have you for lunch. What happened? Oh, whoops.
My brother, Cadman, and I ran into some trouble exploring a temple north of the city. Bears and traps and guards. What else? The floor collapsed from under us. He couldn't walk too well, and yet our captain wanted to keep going, so he sent me back for help. We're with a team from the Free Expedition Corps. We've seen a lot. No place like this. I fear for their lives, envoy.
I don't think I've heard of you. What are you?
We don't make it to the High Crown Court much. Something about dirt on the throne room rug. We mostly operate out of the Cartographers Guild. At least it's cozier than the soldiers' barracks. And they let me copy their maps. Most of the places we go aren't as treacherous as this temple, though.
I'll get him.
Gods, do you mean it? I can't thank you enough. They descended into the temple through a route off the Pilgrim's Path, just north of the city. You'll know you're headed the right way when you see trail markers and rock stacks the Pilgrims left behind. We posted a guard out front, Sedgwin. Let her know I sent you, and she'll let you pass.
I feel quite hungry. You look quite thirsty.
Anything else I should know?
We went there to talk to a man the locals call the Oracle. He's a godlike of Aethys, if you can believe it.
Oh.
The Oracle is said to possess a holy
damn.
relic that belonged to Aethys, a part of the god's Titan body. This Oracle, I don't know if he's dangerous, but he's supposed to carry a sword full of diamonds. I'll probably never get to see it now.
I'll get him.
Especially my brother, Cadman. Don't forget him. You'll probably find the expedition with the relic we were searching for. Whatever that is. Thank you for hearing me out, envoy.
I will find them, and someone will get punched in the mouth.
Wouldn't want their diplomats going hungry or sober.
Unseen, unheard.
Okay. Administration district. I want to go to, like, the trade district. Where's the trade district? Nope, not the shopping district. Put that sword away, sir. It's not the time or the place. Chilling? You chilling. Okay. Underbelly. We started around here, didn't we? Ooh. Oh, that's probably not great.
This may not be the prettiest part of town, but it's got the grinning Balrog.
You saved my life. He would have killed me, and all for a few coins.
Think nothing of it. Any law-abiding citizen would have done the same.
Damn. Just murdered that dude? Oh, okay. Kind of rude. What's up here? Oh. The handwriting is harshly scented, the paper torn at most, letters edged from the sheer force behind the writing. When I told you to hide the hall, I meant somewhere with a locked door, you absolute imbecile. F, just a door at all would be better than this. Move it now. You know I can't be seen with it. If the chest is still there next check-in, it'll be your casket. Falling penmanship is different, very blocky and primitive. Well, to get Curtis alone, girl, help me get in here, you know, before you took care of him. Besides, Mom used to say the best place to hide someone is to play safe. Falling handwriting matches the first sentence. Take care of it before I hide my... Oh. Before I hide my... in your... mother's... you useless... Final message is written at the bottom of the paper. Words cramped but still misshapen. Yeah, it was nice. All right. Let's go. Ooh, can we get down from here? Probably die. Let's not do that. Dunk. Get that spoiled fruit and that spoiled carrot, whatever it was. Oh.
Don't just stand there. Come in. The Balrog's always open.
Hey, Flint.
Sit down. What do you want?
I want... What do you got? Bunch of food, lockpicks, and some blue weapons. Ooh. Fine rifle, 4,600. Yikes. That is expansive, chat. That is expansive. Okay. All I know is I can't wait to continue this when I am back from vacation. Chat! Thanks for hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun, man. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have too. I am out of town for the next few days. There will be stuff on twitch.tv/Cohh. If you'd like to hang out with the community and watch some viewer-voted reruns, that'll be on from 8 to 4 p.m. ET each day. And then I should be back, I'm hoping, Sunday evening for maybe a little bit of a cozy experience. But we should be back to everything in the normal schedule on Monday. Not sure how we're going to do it yet. Now that I've really had some time with this game, I'm really, really enjoying it. And I definitely don't want to do any kind of rushing it. I was considering like getting back from my vacation and just doing Avowed until I finished it and then doing more KCD2. But I think if I did that, I would probably try to, even if I didn't mean to, I'd probably try to rush it to get back to KCD2. And I don't want to do that. So what we may do is start with KCD2 and then switch over to Avowed, like in the towards end of the stream. Maybe do a cozy Avowed too, and go from there. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Fearless One says, "Are you gonna restart Avowed from scratch again?" Oh God, no. We're like 7 hours in. No. We're doing it, man. We're this is our run. I feel like our run's been going great. I've been loving it. So yeah, Ibid says only a 3-day vacation. Dan bro, you deserve longer. First of all, I really appreciate that. A lot of people have been saying that. Second of all, I'm taking my kids to Disney World next month. We'll be gone for like a week. So thanks. I'll take your advice. And we're not only going on vacation this weekend, but I'll also be gone a week next month to take my kids to Disney World for the first time. So very excited. All right. I am out of here for now. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are on the globe. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Have a great one. Bye-bye.